What's up, everyone? Welcome to Test Your Might, the weekly video game debate show. Join Joe, Cicero, Justin, and myself, Mike, along with some special guests as we debate all things video games. If you would like to support us, please share, subscribe, and leave a review. Now, enjoy the show. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Test Your Might, the weekly video game debate show. This is episode 61, and I got my boys here. We got none other than Cicero Holmes, the Mafia Lord himself. He's in the house. How you doing?
Say hi to your mother for me.
Okay. I will. I'm actually seeing my mother tomorrow, so I will say hi to her for you. Okay.
It'll be like, who's Cicero? Like mine did.
And that lovely voice is none other than Justin. Justin, how's your knee?
Skidded. It's a skid knee, and I went to the police. And if you're not getting what we're getting and saying, you got to go listen to our newest review of the original Scream from 1996. That is up on all of your podcatchers of choice and YouTube. Go have fun. Make sure you watch the YouTube one because there's a hidden little joke in there. Make you laugh.
Thanks to Jelly, who edited for me as I was too busy. Put a little Easter egg in there. It's kind of fun. So he's good. Yeah. Anyway, as Justin said, yes, our 1996 Scream review is up on the YouTubes as well as all podcasting platforms, as well as we will be getting access to the new Scream coming up here soon, hopefully, when it gets released digitally. So we'll be watching that and reviewing that as well. But also, video game-wise, we are going to be starting to write reviews on some of the video games that we have been playing or have beaten or whatnot. So there's a brilliant app called the GG app that we have signed up for. Our username is the 90s first. And so it's going to be a collaboration. Like Cicero will write something eventually. Justin will write something on a video game that he has beaten. And me as well. You know, all of us here at the 90s first, we're going to collaborate and just create a cool profile of us writing reviews for games that we finish, or just writing thoughts. You know, maybe there's some games that we just don't end up finishing because maybe we didn't like it and we just write our thoughts on it. Whatever. We want you guys to be a part of that. So follow us on the GG app at the 90s first, and we'll get that going. By the time you're listening to this, I will probably have a review of Halo Infinite's campaign on there for you guys to take a look at our first review. And I don't know, there's a little game that I might allow Justin to write a review for, or maybe I'll just snatch it before he gets a chance. I haven't done research to see if we could write multiple reviews under one account, so we'll see if I could do research on that, but yeah, follow us at the 90s first on the GG app. So that is housekeeping for today. Gentlemen, let's get into the question of the week. We're talking some big news this week in our news segment, and so I thought I'd give a little foreshadow to what we're going to be talking about. So we are continuing our series with favorite game by a certain developer / publisher, whatever. And today we're talking Bungie. So Justin, we're going to go your way first. Favorite game Bungie has ever made?
Well, there's not a whole lot to choose from. That I looked, and the one that I chose has a very strong place in my heart, and that's going to have to be Halo 2. Halo 2, 2004 on the Xbox, original, the OG. It multiplayer, story, all of it was great, and it really started me in the video gaming LAN, the LAN parties. It sold phenomenally on the Xbox. I think the total was like 8 million copies, which was insane for the time. Sony PlayStation 2 was out as well, and it really, really did well. So I think Sony, saw that and they wanted to keep going even harder, and that's when that first console battle between PlayStation and Xbox really started. and I really enjoyed the story in that one. So Halo 2, by far, that's my favorite.
Cicero, I know there's not a lot of Bungie stuff, but are you going to pick a Halo? I mean, hello?
Well, yeah, I am gonna pick a Halo. I could have picked a Destiny, but I'm gonna pick a Halo. But I'm not gonna pick the one you think. Uh, this game allowed you to. It was kind of like a departure. It wasn't a game about Master Chief, but it was about a squad, and you really got to feel like the story was broadening outside of the main Halo objective.
Mhm.
And just what a memorable team from Halo ODST. Halo ODST, very kind of underrated, kind of overlooked, I think, title. And what it showed was that Bungie could make a thoughtful, more grounded, futuristic shooter in the Halo universe as well.
Yeah.
Like they made almost like the best Alien game or Aliens game.
Yeah.
You know?
Agreed.
Yeah. You've heard it here before when Justin's been on the podcast. I remember him playing that game at my house all night and beating it while I was sleeping.
Yeah, finished it in the first night. It was a great game, unique story. Definitely felt squad based. It did, like Cicero said, it took you out of the normal Halo missions, and it made you feel more of a team.
Yeah. ODST also introduced their firefight mode, like their horde mode,
Right.
and that was actually really fun.
That was huge.
Definitely.
So.
Yeah, I think a lot of people miss the single player, missed the campaign because they just went and played Firefight because it was so awesome.
Yeah. So if you don't mind, and I'm the host, so you're gonna have to mind. I'm gonna cheat.
Okay.
So Bungie, to me, their best multiplayer experience was Halo Reach. I really loved the implementation of the sprint. It was kind of like a tactical sprint. It wasn't like full-fledged like Call of Duty style sprint where you just hold down the left stick. It was tactical in a way. It had a cooldown and everything and stuff like that. And so the Halo Reach multiplayer suite was always my favorite. But the Halo 3 campaign is just, I mean, it's like a blockbuster movie. Like, no pun intended if you're watching the video version. It's like Halo 3 was like a summer blockbuster. Like, just you always vividly remember that ending scene where you're in that warthog and you know the platforms are coming out from under you and you're trying to get back and escape. And man, Halo 3 is just, it was amazing. Yeah, I loved Halo 3. First one on the 360, obviously, too. So, really, really good graphics in 2007 and stuff like that. So, yeah, Halo 3, the campaign was phenomenal. So, yeah, that's Bungie. They didn't make much as far as like different series. They made a lot of games, but not a lot of departure in the series.
But they made their mark, man.
Yeah,
They definitely did.
All their games are bangers.
For sure. And yeah, I mean, no like shade at Destiny. Like we have Sean Rugg on the show and he plays Destiny 2 all the time, and they like Destiny gunplay and stuff like that feels amazing. They took their Halo chops and brought it over to Destiny, and yeah, Destiny is a very, very good game. We just don't play it out of us three. So
hold on. I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench in all of these productions.
Okay.
Remote Island, you can only take one developer's games. Bungie or Rockstar? Who do you take?
developer island, I would go with Rockstar. I think their back catalog of games would keep you busy while you waited for help a lot longer, and you wouldn't have to worry about connecting with other people. Halo is great for story, but I've always played as co-op, and I know, Cicero, you agree with that co-op. So if you're on an island by yourself, you're not enjoying it the way you would want to enjoy it.
I mean, there's islands that have internet. I'm bringing an Ethernet cord.
What if you have internet?
Ethernet cord to the sand block.
Right.
If
you have internet.
If I have internet, I'm bringing Halo.
You're bringing it. So you're
I'm
going
bringing Bungie.
Really?
Yeah.
You're going Bungie.
100%. I mean, like, to me, the Rockstar games have always been like non-replayable for me. Like I haven't really touched GTA 5 since I beat the game, back in 2013 when it was originally released. And yeah, GTA 5 is still a thing. But yeah, I think I would much rather have the online suite of all the Halo games. So,
well, in like 40 years when GTA 6 comes out,
right?
Well, it was announced, but it's not coming out
it's
for another
active.
40. So
it's an active in development.
Yeah, I feel the opposite with Rockstar. I enjoy going back through the campaigns. I have gone through them multiple times, especially like San Andreas and Vice City. I love the stories, and 5 was phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, ain't nobody got time for that. That's that's what I'll say.
You're on a desert island.
You're on a desert island. You have nothing but time.
Yeah, but you know that even if I'm on the desert island, there's gonna be some way my 4-year-old finds his way over to me.
I'm just saying, when your palm tree signal goes out from your Ethernet port, you're not gonna be able to play with people. But I'm gonna keep on playing.
Hey, you forget that Halo has some of the best single player stuff as well. So, like, I'm getting the full gambit here. Cicero, what would you take?
Mike, you're so right about Bungie and Halos, and then you also have Destiny, right? Yeah. So you've got these games, but you're talking GTA with Rockstar, but you've got Red Dead, right?
Yeah.
You have Red Dead 2.
Yeah, I didn't like Red Dead 2.
You've got Bully. You've got...
honestly, the only game we need to talk about is table tennis.
Exactly.
That'll keep you busy on a desert island.
There you go.
Overall.
There you go. It is done.
The mic has dropped.
It is done.
I got the Master Chief, man. I'm good.
Yeah. Oh, man.
It's all right. I'm not going to argue here. I think
he's got no rotation choices for that table tennis. I'm sorry, Master Chief would lose.
Right,
he's got no arm movement.
He's a super soldier. He would not lose table tennis. All right.
Time to give the Covenant back their ping pong ball.
All right, we're moving on. What have you been playing, Cicero? You go, my friend.
Halo, Rockstar's table tennis. By Bungie. No, I've been playing stuff on my PS5. Like, I've really been trying to give it a go. Ghost of Tsushima, nice. Like, Sony they make good single player. They do it, right? Like, this is a thing that we've acknowledged. It is a thing that is true, and boy, oh boy, is it true in so many ways. The PS5 is a really beautiful machine in terms of the software for which the device carries is really great. As a piece of tech, it's really nice. The controller is a good size for people with larger hands. Mm-hmm. It's a really good machine.
Question for you on the controller.
Yes, yeah.
I've seen a lot of people on Twitter complain that the sticks are just too low and like gives them cramps in their thumbs. What are your thoughts?
I haven't yet to experience that, so I can't speak to that. I've also not played extensively.
Okay.
Like, I'm not playing 7 hours at a time. So, gotcha. Maybe I'm playing 3 or 4 hours at a clip.
Yeah, from
Okay.
the time that I've spent playing it, I haven't had any cramps on my fingers either. But I'm used to the Duke, you know.
Yeah.
So
Exactly right. So, yeah, I love it as a piece of tech. I think it's remarkable. The games look incredible. I'm really looking forward to all of the experiences that I'm going to be able to have with those games. And they're there.
yeah.
And then when I'm going to look to play other games, I'll be back on my Xbox.
Yeah.
Which because that's where games live, right? Like
Till Game Pass comes to PlayStation, right?
right, yeah.
Then it's the ultimate console.
Right? Until Game Pass comes to PlayStation, yeah. Almost. If the console itself, if the plastic box wasn't as obnoxiously big as it is,
But it's pretty.
Yeah, sure, it is pretty.
No, it's ugly, dude. I'm sorry.
It's ginormous.
I think we rent those modems out at Blockbuster.
Right. But like, hey guys, we used to rent game consoles.
Yeah.
Crazy. But like, if they could make it smaller and I could play Game Pass games on it, yeah, I might use that more often.
Let's solve the let them make enough consoles first, and then then they can work on the Pro, smaller, slim.
Yeah. See, that's what, man, you're right about that, because it's obnoxious. That's also the other obnoxious thing. Like, people can't get them still.
Yeah.
I mean, Sony doesn't care. It's a good thing for them.
Right. Right.
Justin, what have you been playing?
I haven't been playing a lot, honestly. I played a little Fortnite, but I actually went on a trip recently and I visited a 21 and up bar called Player One, which is an arcade / bar that all of the workers are dressed in cosplay. I got destroyed in Clay Fighter against my girlfriend.
Nice.
The SNES version, the old school Clay Fighter, I got my butt kicked. And then I destroyed her in DDR, which I don't know if I should boast about, but I did. And then I beat her in Guitar Hero as well. So
which one? Which DDR?
I played the Jack song. Think of it. Like, I can't think of the song, but it was like you play 3 songs in succession and it takes the scores of all of them.
Nice.
But it was just like a big machine. And yeah, she was like, how are you in the quadruple digits? How are you in the sextuple digits? And she's trying to push me off the dance floor and still hit her notes. But it was good. It was good. It made me feel better about losing to Clay Fighter, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was fun. Good times.
Yeah. Bonding experiences.
Yeah. With arcade games.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I also played somebody else in NBA Jam there and beat their butt in the original NBA Jam. I played as the Bulls, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the original NBA Jam, though, the Bulls didn't have Michael Jordan, so...
No, it was Pippen. And that's all you need. You only need Pippen.
I don't know.
Grant Pippen, that's all you need. Look, I'm talking sports ball. All right, Mike, what have you planned?
So as kind of hinted at earlier in housekeeping, I beat the Halo Infinite campaign, and man, was it so fun. If there was one gripe that I have about it is that a lot of the areas that you go to were very, samey, if that's a word. Not much variety in, the areas in which you are battling the banished in this game. So, but other than that, the gunplay, the simple fact of movement with the grapple shot is just, it's... I barely used a vehicle in this whole game because I just wanted to run around and grapple everywhere. I had so much fun just traversing this open world with Master Chief and this grapple shot. It was a blast, man. It is It is.
Spectacular Master Chief.
Trying to play Spider-Man on the Xbox.
Right.
That's what it is.
Exactly, and that's what I did. So, and then
He is the Halo Man.
the Spider Chief.
Right.
So yeah, thoroughly recommend it. The story was pretty fun too. I think there's certainly been better Halo stories, but this one was fun regardless, and had a really good ending, a good hook as well.
Better than 5.
I mean, you don't have to do much to be better than 5. So anyway. And I've also been playing a little game called Inscription. Why are you rolling your eyes at me?
Yeah. What? That's a great game.
You're rolling your eyes at me.
Enjoy that one. I was recommended it by a good friend of the show, and I'm glad you're playing it as well.
Yeah, it is absolutely amazing. I don't want to spoil anything because it's pretty good mystery, like thriller type game that you're trying to figure out. Puzzle
Mike's
game
exact
as well.
quote: "I've beat it 3 times." Like, no, you haven't.
Yeah. So, what I'll say about this is that it is one of the best deck builders that I've played, but also one of the best collectible card games that I have played. So maybe take that as you will. So definitely play Inscription. It's a blast. It's usually, or I think it's like $20 on Steam. Hit up a sale on Humble or Steam whenever it goes on sale. It's 100% worth it. So yeah. That's what I've been playing. All right. Time to get into the news, gentlemen. And we got a big one. We got another acquisition. Speaking of good old Bungie, Sony has bought Bungie for $3.6 billion with a B, and that is a 20th of what Microsoft spent on Activision Blizzard, but still, nonetheless, a really good partnership in the making with Sony and Bungie. But the one crazy thing is that they do plan on keeping everything multi-platform. So Destiny and any future projects from Bungie, they're going to stay multi-platform. Bungie is still an autonomous kind of developer and publisher as well. They're going to be publishing their games too, but they're just going to have some financial backing from Sony to be able to support Destiny as well as future titles. Some wrinkles that are thrown into this, well, I'm sure we'll get to them, but Cicero, what's your initial thoughts on this?
Well, it's Coke went out and bought some beverage company, and so Pepsi had to go out and buy something else. So that's what we've got, and they're going to keep selling to everybody. And that's what makes sense now, right? Like we're not in the realm of the gotta keep it to myself. It's now we're in content provision, right? Mm-hmm. So if you've got content, you want people to have access to that content. You just want to own that content. And that's where we are now. I don't want to keep it away from you. I just want to own the subscription service or the delivery mechanism for which you consume my content.
There you go. Justin, initial thoughts.
I think it's good for Bungie. They are very stern on remaining independent pretty much and making sure their content is all around, which is throwing up some flags for people that are fans of Sony and also for fans of Microsoft, because if you buy something, you should own the rights to it. But one of the things that I read today was that I think it was 1.2 or 1.3 billion of it was for employee retention.
Yeah.
Which is really good. That is going straight into the employees to keep them happy throughout this change. And I think it's good for the content that Bungie is going to bring as well, because I don't believe Destiny has dedicated servers, and I think it has a lot of problems when it comes to servers in general. Same with Square Enix. But this is going to help with that. So that way they're going to be able to grow and start making things that they want to grow and make. And it's all good. It's all for the better, and like Cicero said, big fish eats other fish. And on the other side of the spectrum, they have to eat something as well. So it's going to keep going. And I don't believe Microsoft's going to stop either. Should I predict what the next one is going to be?
It's cuffing season. Everybody's trying to find a boo. So
I don't know if Bungie was like necessarily looking to sell, but yeah, they just saw an opportunity for billions of dollars and saw what good could happen with their properties as well as their future properties as well. Now the crazy thing here is that I think Sony is taking first of all, Sony's taking a crazy approach with just scooping up Destiny and, Bungie in general. Bungie is really good at cinematics, and so I think Sony wants to broaden their entertainment business as well. When you look at potential like CG or animated films in the Sony plate there. But I also think it's very interesting, Cicero, and I want your comment on this. Like, this seems like Sony is kind of changing their mindset on exclusivity. I mean, this kind of harkens back over to like MLB The Show, not only coming to Xbox and other platforms, but also, I mean, it's going in Xbox Game Pass. Sony's not putting forth the money to MLB specifically to keep it exclusive. It's just kind of a little bit of a chip in the armor, so to speak, that Sony is kind of continuing to and gradually getting. And I think it's good for the industry. Again, it's questionable whether acquisitions are good for the industry, but what Sony is doing with Bungie, I think, is specifically good for the industry, where you're not taking away such a good live service game from the Xbox community and stuff like that.
Well, that was Bungie's decision in this case. Bungie was the one who was stern on that.
True, but I think Sony could have given them billions more dollars to, I don't know, maybe swing that in the contract. Regardless, Cicero, what are your thoughts on that?
I think that what we've got is we've got an entity in Sony that really kind of understands that the winds are shifting, right? The way that we do business is shifting. Just what was that? It was a year ago when the Bethesda deal was done, 10 months ago, and we were saying how if this was Sony, then we know that they would all be exclusives. All of those titles would be exclusives, and everyone would just assume that that's the way it is. But the Activision deal changes the perspective of everything, because you can't Sony can't outdo that. There's no way to outdo that. So now it's all right, well, how do we figure out a way to pivot and move forward in a way that allows us to still be a player in the space? And that is by acquiring the content that people want. And as they're spending the money on those things, they're giving that money to us.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if, like what you said about Destiny and Sony with like videos and stuff like that, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't try to do a Destiny film.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Right? So, and to that end, I think if there is another acquisition that could be made, Sony could try and go after Epic. And if they do that, I don't know what the money is for that, but if they could own Fortnite, now they become a player in the new, whatever the new space is of delivering content.
Yeah. I mean, Epic Games currently is at like 28.7 billion equity valuation. So I don't know if Sony would be able to afford that, according to some rumblings that I've been seeing on Twitter and stuff like that. But I mean, here's kind of last thing on this topic, and then we'll move on to test your might. But Justin, let me get your take on this, because one of the things that I talked to Cicero about on our Activision Blizzard episode, after that news broke, we did that special episode. I will link it down in the description, so go check it out. But yeah, for sure. But one of the things that I said with Cicero on that episode was that, like, the thing about the Activision Blizzard acquisition that my feelings came about were that it wasn't necessarily strategic. Like, I thought of the Bethesda one, and me and Cicero talked about how, like, a lot of Xbox exclusive titles, Bethesda could fill those holes with what they had. Yeah. And so, like, with Activision Blizzard, it just didn't necessarily feel like overly strategic to push Xbox a little bit forward. Whereas, like, this Sony purchase for Bungie feels extremely strategic, and I think it's a very, very good move for the brand of Sony, not only in video games, but also in the entertainment business. And so, Justin, do you feel like this acquisition was pretty strategic in nature?
In my opinion, this Sony Bungie acquisition was good. I think it was strategic. Sony saw what Microsoft acquired with Activision Blizzard, and they can't match that. There's no way they can. There's not another, produce anything that would match that. So they're trying to gobble up what they can while there's still some left. And this was good for them for content, like you were saying, for making films, for making TV shows, which they do phenomenal jobs on compared to Microsoft. And just look how long Halo's been in the making. And I feel like this is good for them as well for service games, which they're working on doing as well, because in my opinion, take it back a year when Sony was all about first party exclusivity, and they had great single player, phenomenal games with great storytelling, and they weren't focused much on the multiplayer space. And Xbox was on the other side of the spectrum, where they were doing all the multiplayer games. Almost any game that they came out with had a multiplayer element in it, and they weren't really focused on the single player aspect. And that's why they acquired Bethesda, to get that side of the spectrum on their favor. So this is the exact opposite on Sony's half, and I think it's a good strategic move. It didn't get them Halo, it didn't get them, big names exclusivity, and they don't care about that. They're getting the services, they're getting more on their docket that's going to help them grow, and I think it's okay.
Is there any final thoughts?
No, I think Justin got it. I was going to say something, but I forgot. So that's it.
Yeah, that's okay.
We did it.
So yeah, Sony.
Let me spin in here. Back to when I was on Test Your Might and I said Activision Blizzard was going to be the next acquired company. Because you said it's not very strategic for Microsoft to do this. So let me break it down for you really quick. Number one, they needed a computer presence. Blizzard has been in the running for a long time, and they have a great BattleNet service, so they know what they're doing. So that checks that box. Then you've got Microsoft wanting a mobile presence, so they got, what is it? King, which is the top mobile developer company. So they got that box checked, and then they get on top of that all of the greatest games from the past 10 years, Call of Duty, as a perk to this. So I think it was very strategic for them to purchase this. I think that Microsoft did a good move.
Yeah.
Checked so many boxes all at once.
Yeah, but I don't know. It didn't feel strategic in the moment because like it was just like throwing a bunch of billions of dollars just to get the name of Activision Blizzard, especially when Call of Duty is declining, when Blizzard and Activision are not good in the sight of, mind's eyes with like, with the sexual assault and all that stuff. It just didn't feel as strategic as the Bethesda one. Again, I was only comparing it in that sense that like Bethesda had the games that Xbox didn't. And so it kind of felt a little bit more strategic, whereas Xbox still had Call of Duty, PC still had World of Warcraft,
Call of Duty is in the decline, but still far and away the biggest game in sales.
So, in sales, yes, but
right. And what does it boil down to? Microsoft's making money. Like
I hear that, but in perception, Call of Duty is nowhere where it used to be.
It doesn't matter in sales. Like it would be great if it was.
Yeah, but
it had the perception it had back in Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah,
and was still getting the sales. But it's still getting the sales. And that's what it like. This is a publicly traded company. They need to make money. And they made a strategic decision to acquire a company that was down bad because of those things that you were talking about. And they were able to buy low so that they can earn more and more money. And fundamentally change the conversation about this pastime, this endeavor that we are all in, that we call gaming, with this acquisition.
And even to add more fire to Cicero's statement, buying low like this was very strategic. They were on a crutch, like I said in the past, and this was the perfect time for them to buy that. And then on top of that, yes, Call of Duty is in a decline, right? But this gives, Activision a chance to be themselves again and not have that pressure to release a title every single year. I believe they're going to go back to bi-yearly releases, and they're going to focus on those campaigns. They're going to get time to spend, polish them, and we're going to get the old Call of Duty back. I believe it's going to happen because Microsoft is all about making the developers feel like they're unique and they're special and let them create their visions without the pressure behind them.
Yeah, they don't have to be the engine that they were. That's a really good point. They don't have to be that engine for the organization anymore. They're just one. They're a very big piece of a humongous machine now.
Yeah, I believe in my heart that if fans had a choice of getting another reiteration of the same old every year, they would choose to wait an extra year to get a polished product like they used to growing up. And I feel like Microsoft is going to do that with all of the stuff on their plate. They're easily able to sprinkle in different things and let Call of Duty bake in the oven for longer.
Dude, it's going to go into Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's going to be a service.
Yeah, well, also, yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, I still didn't think it was, in light of the Bethesda acquisition, as strategic as that, because the portfolio of Xbox games wasn't where it is now. So that's my thoughts.
They had to make the acquisition because I said it was going to be so.
There you go.
No, yeah. Okay.
There it is. There it is.
All right. Let's get into Test Your Might, gentlemen.
I think Justin's already won one of the debates with that one. Sorry. No. Wow.
I mean, you guys are debating. It's
no,
not,
if I could
me.
Say what the next thing they're going to acquire is, then maybe. But Capcom.
Anyway, it's not going to be Capcom.
Oh, it's not going to be Blizzard.
They're okay. All right. I'm going to put this to bed. There are legitimate laws that American companies cannot just up and buy Japanese companies. Okay? All right.
We'll see. I thought you were talking about Sony buying Capcom.
No, he was talking about Microsoft.
Yeah, Microsoft's buying Capcom.
Sony could buy Capcom more than...
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to buy Square Enix because they've got too many deals going on.
I'm starting to be more like Sean Rugg and not like talking about acquisitions. Anyway, test your might. Bethesda was more strategic. When Microsoft was thinking about acquiring Activision Blizzard, they were also thinking about King and the mobile space. So you guys are tasked with pitching a mobile game from an Xbox property. And so, I'm going Cicero's way first. Would you like to go first or second?
I will go second.
Okay. All right. I'm having fun with this episode, so I hope all of our viewers and listeners love it. My pitch is for a game that came out a long time ago. There has been multiple reiterations, but this one originally came out in 2006. And that would be the Viva Pinata series. And I feel like Microsoft can make this into a mobile presence game very quickly with King behind them. And it would be called Viva Pinata Around the World.
Okay. We got a title. Viva Pinata Around the World. Cicero, what are your thoughts? Pitch a game.
You want me to give me my thoughts on what Justin had to say, or do you want me to pitch a game?
You can. Whatever. Be as strategic as you want.
Oh, well, strategically, I'll say that picture this in a world where the cogs have to fight. Okay. In this Pick 3 mobile game called Gears of War Dual Judgment.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, that name is spot on. You know what? I'm gonna give you rebuttal first because I like that name.
So this game it's almost a gacha game, but it's one of those Pick 3 games, kind of like Gardenscape, where you've got like this goofy Gears of War narrative, and you've got to do the Pick 3 puzzles through the different things to get different artifacts to unlock different stuff in order to push you through to fight back the hordes and save the day. And you keep fighting, and there are going to be special weapons, and even though it's dreary, it's not going to be gory, so it will still be all ages to play. It'll just be kind of dark.
Okay. All right.
Okay, Justin.
I like it. Gears of War is a great choice. I didn't want to go too big with the Microsoft properties because a lot of the time when companies take their main or one of their highest sold properties and they try to turn it into a mobile game, it fails horribly. Yeah. So I wanted to go something that would be a little bit smaller, but gather a bigger audience. Because let's talk about mobile gaming for a second. A lot of it is children and then older people as well. So the mid-range is kind of the one that doesn't really mobile game, they console game or PC game. So Viva Pinata is good for all ages. It's not gory. It's got different Pinata characters that you collect, customize, you make your own. Most of the gameplay is going to be mini-game based, which you would, ensue different puzzles or mini-games. There would be matching involved, but a lot of it would be mini-game based. You could either play offline or play with people all around the world to earn the rarest candy-filled, pinatas and prove yourself on the leaderboards as well. You would be playing these mini games that are quick. You wouldn't have to turn your screen sideways. It would be a one-handed game, which is what most phone gamers use. They don't like to hold their phone sideways. And I feel like it would gather a bigger audience being the type of game that phone gamers play. And that is, collect different characters, play little mini games in and out real quick. Little strategy when it comes to puzzles and online gaming. But I think it would do better, honestly. I really do.
Cicero, rebuttal.
Yeah, well, what I'll say is that Justin's pretty spot on with Viva Pinata, except for the part where he says it's a family game. Mm-hmm. It's the opposite of the family game. I would contend it is more disturbing than Gears of War.
What? What? Are you scared of pinatas?
No. If you've played Viva Pinata, yes?
I have. Yes.
All right. So if your pinata is sick,
Mhm.
what do? You
feed it.
Or you can bash it in the head with a shovel
That's not the type of game I'm making.
break it open, and then what happens? Candy spills out. Yay!
Well,
And then other pinatas eat the candy.
all right. So when it comes to breaking open a pinata, I think that's a lot better than what Niantic is doing with Pokemon and just sending them to a meat grinder. I feel like collecting duplicates would give you tokens or whatever to get more. I don't think that that's a problem at all. Pinatas are a lot more friendly than cogs shooting and destroying other hordes. I feel like the audience, like just the fact you'd be able to AR implicate pinatas into photos that you take of yourself and show off to your friends. Kids would love that, and I think that with the unique characters that you could create and the mini games, it would hold hours of fun, and it would be perfectly fine.
Am I calling it?
Yeah, pinata's a murder.
I'm gonna give it to Cicero, not only because of his amazing name for the game, but I think there's a little more foundation to his game. You said there were mini games and stuff like that, Justin, but like you didn't go into what those mini games were. I don't know. I'm giving it to Cicero on this. Plus, he made your game sound cannibalistic. Like he hit you too hard, man. Hit you too hard. All right, next.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was fun. We're still kicking it in the pitch world here. So PlayStation is planning to have 10 live service games by 2026. So, pitch me the game. Pitch me one of the games that this live service game... Pitch me one of the games that is going to be coming up. There you go. Cicero, you won, so I'm giving you the power again, first or second.
Picture this. You wake up. You stretch your arms out. You look around your home and you see the world. As you look out of your window, your home is nicely adorned. You put on a nice, like, onesie kind of suit. You realize you're kind of in the future. You step out of your home. You look to your right and you see a ship. It's a spaceship. You get in that ship. You look over. You see another guy. That's your buddy. He's got a ship. And you guys both launch out into space. And he says, I'm going to go one way and you go another way. And you go off and you do some things and you explore some stuff. And you have a wonderful time and you guys can get back together. Sometimes you can fight some wars. You can do some stuff. It's not just anybody's sky. It's No Man's Sky 2.
Okay.
The live service.
Okay.
Full multiplayer.
I've heard that before from No Man's Sky. So that's pretty tall orders there for No Man's Sky. All right. Let me picture this. Bravo team. Fire on targets. Let's take you back to PlayStation 1, where you bought a game that had a huge box, because this box contained a headset. And we're bringing back SOCOM, boys. SOCOM, U.S. Navy SEALs Blackout, where you got to communicate not with friends, but with your squad in the real world. Tell them what to do with commands. But this is going to be a different type of SOCOM, not just doing missions. It's going to be more like a Hitman style gameplay. You're going to be working as a squad over the course of months or weeks, doing different missions that get added to work towards a common collective goal across the world. Frag and clear, Cicero, you're dead.
Yeah. Wow. I'm dead. Okay. Well,
That's so nice. But
yeah,
just for a
but that's
rebuttal.
okay. I'm gonna resuscitate myself.
Right? In space.
Yep, in space. I've frozen my organs, so I'm perfectly preserved. Here's the thing, Justin. That's a great pitch. The problem is, you've got to rebuild Zipper Interactive to bring back a game that was great. But now there are like 7 different games that are doing this thing already in many different spaces. Not necessarily strictly on the PlayStation, but they kind of exist. So like, how are you gonna get that group away from their games to play this game? Here's the thing with No Man's Sky 2. What you're saying is you've heard this before and you didn't think it was capable. Well, there are already use cases. Elite Dangerous is already kind of doing most of these things pretty well. And now you can use that. Hello Games can use that in their engine. Mm-hmm. The proof of concept is already there, and you can build that into your engine and have a truly, truly dynamic experience within the universe that is No Man's Sky. And it doesn't mean that it's like massive, right? Like you're not going to have 128 people in a particular, in a particular instance, but maybe there are 64 people within a specific geographic location in space, in the space. Basically, Elite Dangerous, but in No Man's Sky's universe. No Man's Sky 2.
That would be great if you were pitching an Elite Dangerous, service game, but you put the title No Man's Sky on it,
yeah.
And fans of No Man's Sky who bought it day one, like myself, are going to kind of wonder, because you're putting those tall orders in another game with the same title, just the number 2 afterwards, to be let down again. So I feel like if you would have said Elite Dangerous Service, sure, but you said No Man's Sky 2, which makes people wonder. And SOCOM, on the other hand, people remember in a good way, not a bad way. They remember voice commands, telling your squad what to do, because you remember getting that box when you bought it with a headset on it. One of the first games that allowed voice commands and online play. So I feel like if a Hitman-style game came out where you were working with a squad, a military squad, a U.S. Navy sales squad, and you're giving them voice commands like, I don't know if you remember Rainbow Six Vegas also implicated it and did amazing.
Yep.
So if you were to implicate new missions every week or every month and work as a team to get it done with voice commands, I think people would love it. And I think that it would sell a lot better than something that let our hopes down in the past.
See, and Justin, I understand as a person who had high hopes for what No Man's Sky could be in the beginning. I understand how you've been hurt and led astray by what it was that you played versus what it was that you thought you were going to be playing.
What I was promised.
However, if you had gone back recently, the game that you see today is far closer to what you were promised than the game that you received on day one. And that is why it's No Man's Sky 2. It's not because we want to lead people astray a second time. It's because the players that are playing right now know how good the game is, but those players that bought it initially and ran away now can see it in the second one. And basically they just roll over everyone in No Man's Sky into No Man's Sky 2, just like Bungie did with Destiny and Destiny 2. So that's how the Bungie acquisition helps Sony make No Man's Sky 2 a live service game.
Okay. I just feel like, when you release a product, it should be ready to go, and you shouldn't give false hope at the first time.
Don't disagree.
I enjoyed No Man's Sky recently, not when it came out.
Yeah, well, if there's anything that Americans can really stand behind, is that sometimes you make a mistake, but you dust yourself off, you try better, and you come out to be even better than you thought you could be. What a great reclamation project.
All right. Calling it, gentlemen. I think Justin's was a little bit more grounded. Very ambitious for you, Cicero. So I'm going to give it Justin's way this time. Just a little more grounded for a live service game. Yeah. Plus, I think SOCOM should come back. That was a fun series.
So good. Or Rainbow Six Vegas, for that matter. Either or.
They won't bring that back.
Well, you can play Vegas on
Siege.
you can play Vegas on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, guys. Next debate. Resident Evil 4 writer is wanting the inevitable remake of the game to rewrite his story to improve it. So, what is a game that deserves a remake, but solely to make the story better? Not necessarily that it was a bad game or so or whatever, just that it needs to get a better story. Justin, you won. First or second, you go.
I'll let Cicero go first this time. You let me go first, the initial.
Thank you.
Your turn it is, Cicero.
But Yoda, let's see. Oh man, I'm gonna go with Infamous 2.
Okay.
Infamous 2 could use a rewrite. I didn't like that story in that game. I thought it was silly. I thought the first one was really good, and then the second one they kind of went in a different direction, and I really didn't like that direction. So I would love for them to have a second shot at redoing that narrative, because the game was awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Justin, go ahead.
In a similar note, I guess we're sticking with sequels. The game was awesome, but the story was lackluster, and I'm going with Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. I feel like it was great action, great set pieces. It felt like a great adventure game, but the story was, and the ending, it needs a rewrite for sure.
All right, Cicero, bring it out. Duke it out.
Well, I mean, Infamous 2, like, the first Infamous was, he had developed his powers, he didn't really know where they came from, he was figuring out exactly what was going on, and then there were, like, moral choices that he could make, and those played out all the way through the game. But the second one, he had moved away from the fictional, more urban city and moved to like a flooded New Orleans, and so it was like almost like a different game. But then like what they did with the narrative was just, it was really, really weird. They could have done so many different things, but what they chose to do was bizarre. They could have done something different.
I agree. I agree that both of these are terrible stories, and there's so many different options that could have been better. As for Among Thieves, Uncharted 2, the first one set the stage, and it really made Nathan Drake look like a tomb hunter, a new Tomb Raider, pretty much, and he had a heart behind him, and I enjoyed the first one all the way to the end, and this one just seemed like they were maximizing the Michael Bay element and removing the story, the feelings that you get for characters, up until the end where you have a death of a character and then they just like respect the memorial and then kiss, and that's where it fades. And I'm like, it just seems like they rushed through action and action and action and just backed up on the story elements, and I feel like that really ruined the immersion level for myself, where I love great storytelling. And coming from the first one, it hurt to watch. And then, obviously they fixed it for 3 and 4 especially, but 2 was kind of like the least, the mostest worstest of the bunch.
The huger worst.
Yeah, it definitely didn't make you feel like when Nathan Drake skidded his knee, it didn't make you care about it.
Cicero, rebuttal?
The hard picture.
Infamous could have been better. They could have done something better. I don't know what that could have been. And that might lose me this argument, but like it's just a nonsense story, right? And I guess if you're in New Orleans, you can have a nonsense story, but like the whole premise for it was like he was chased away, and so he comes down to New Orleans where like everybody is kind of like a refugee scallywag, something or other. Like, no. And then, it's goofy. It's goofy. They could have done something better. Because they had a character with really cool powers and they had a game with great mechanics. And they just chose just poor things to do with it.
I agree completely.
You chose poorly.
Well, like with Uncharted, after people met Sully, they loved this character. After they met Drake, they loved this character, and the writing was just so centered on great action sequences throughout the entire campaign. It kind of like took away from those character moments where you had them talking to each other and you didn't feel the emotion behind the actions. And if they would have wrote simple lines of dialogue, even with their back turned to you, that would have mattered so much to the story of when they're walking into a place and they're like, well, this is bigger than last time. Anything they could have written that would have made you feel more immersed in the characters. There was so many set pieces like the Nazi airplane, that were great for visual aspects, which they maximized from the original. But then when it came to feeling like he was in danger, Nathan Drake was in danger, you just didn't connect as well. And I feel like they really just went all out on, like I said, the Michael Bay aspects, and they didn't focus on the character growth, which they should have been, because then 3 and 4 would have been even more impactful. And that stinks that we missed out.
Agreed.
All right. Cicero, I think he just had a little bit more fleshed out argument than you, so
no,
giving it to
him. How dare you?
How dare you?
I agree completely with Cicero.
I dare.
Like both of these games.
Yes.
Great games.
Yes.
Terrible story.
Yes.
Yeah, Infamous 2, never played Uncharted, so Infamous 2, I totally agree. Yeah.
Never played Uncharted?
No.
Not even 4?
No.
You didn't play none of them?
No, none of them.
I played all of them. I've Lost Legacy. Come on.
Sony does.
You gonna watch the movie?
Player, man.
Yeah, actually, I kind of want to watch it. I mean, I'll watch it when it comes to a streaming platform. But...
I bet I'll care more about Tom Holland than I did on Nathan Drake in Uncharted 2. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, well, we'll see. Gentlemen, surprise, it is not a blind quick attack for our last one. I forgot to change it.
Yeah.
We are going back to one of the OGs. To a versus mode, death battle, fight between two video game characters. You guys ready?
Yeah. If it's Master Chief and Doom Guy again, I swear.
It is not. It is not. Good. So we're keeping it a little bit fun here. So, gentlemen, your two characters of choice. In light of the recent Xbox acquisition of Activision Blizzard, they now have two properties that were originally Sony exclusives.
God.
So your battle is Spyro versus Crash Bandicoot. Who's winning in a fight to the death? Justin, you won that last one. You're going to get first pick.
First pick. I'm going to go with Ooga Booga Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot, which means, Cicero, you got Spyro. It's not a quick attack. We're going just full-on argument here. Justin, you're starting us off. Crash Bandicoot, why does he got the chops to take down the purple dragon? You ain't talking Barney.
Crash Bandicoot, can I just say he has dinosaurs and that wins the argument? Like Tomb Raider? Or no? Do I have to actually fight?
Actually fight. Stop. Right. We're not doing the celebrity deathmatch stuff.
All right, so Crash Bandicoot's been to space and back. He's fought dinosaurs. He's fought polar bears. He's ran from boulders. He can't fly, but he can jump pretty dang high. So I feel like Spyro can glide, but he can't outrun Crash Bandicoot. And Crash Bandicoot only has to spin around and take Spyro out. That's a good start. Go ahead, Cicero.
Crash Bandicoot is on a 2D plane, and Spyro is on a 3D plane. He's on a 2.5D plane.
There you go. Yeah. I see some 3D gems.
But, yes. But Spyro is on a 3D plane, making it much easier for Spyro to defeat Crash because he can evade him in all three dimensions and also set him on fire.
Okay.
Can't spin away from that. Yeah!
There you go. Just a rebuttal.
In my defense, Crash Bandicoot 2 and 1 had multiple 3D planes, not just 2D planes. You were running from boulders towards the screen, if you don't remember, which was completely 3D. You had the level selection screen and the boss battles that were forward, back, left, and right. You had full 3D motion on those movements. Crash has Aku Aku. Do you know who that is? That was the Ooga Booga.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a mask that once you collect 3 of them, you become invincible. So no little fire spewing, little tiny hot breath is going to affect that. You're going to get knocked out and jumped on real quick.
We've been around these video game streets for a while. Spyro's a dragon, right? Like, dragons not only are mythical, they're old. And they've been around. They've seen the invincibility MacGuffin token. They know that eventually the invincibility MacGuffin token wears out. And as I have stated previously, Spyro observes the full 3 dimensions of up and down and left and right. And and moving around in a full dimensions of 3, while the 2.5 and quasi phase shifting zone running that Crash Bandicoot could do even after he gets his Aki is not going to help him when it runs out and Spyro comes in and burns him with fire.
Love final blows.
Well, that's what I feel like Spyro's going to be doing with no heat except for a little tiny bit of fire blast. That's not a very powerful blow. So I feel like with Aku and the fact that you could put a jetpack on myself, you could ride a boar, you could do anything. Crash Bandicoot's got so many partners to help him out as well that he could easily take out this little baby dragon. I don't think that little Spyro,
your boys,
little Spyro, yeah, that's what a fight is. We even became friends with Cortex in one of the games. He can invent anything to kick Spyro out of this game. I feel like, the fact that he took out, I don't know if you remember Ripperoo, but that guy jumped real high. And I feel like the fact that Spyro, like, have you ever just spun and kicked someone off a screen? I haven't seen Spyro do that ever. Yeah, he hits you so hard that you fly off the screen. And that's just his normal attack.
What happens if Crash lands in water?
Oh, he can swim. He swam. The Cortex Strikes Back.
He swam.
He swam. He swims very well. He can swim just fine. You're talking about the original.
He done swum in those swim waters.
I was talking about the original. Who, if he hit water, he died. So he was dry. So if he gets burned, he's gonna burn to a crisp. He has no moisture. He's spinning it all out of him.
I think he's collecting water particles in the air when he spins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but, he's moving so fast that he's creating a water cloud.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's perfectly. He's never drinking water. He's not parched.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't need that.
Yes.
I think that him and his buddies and that little polar bear that his girl companion rides around, I think they could kick Spyro's butt real quick.
See, you see this though? Spyro's out here doing his work.
Himself.
It's just like old man Stark, Ned Stark said that you've got if you're gonna give out the punishment, you've got to wield the sword, and that's what Spyro's about. That's honor. But Crash has no honor. Calling his boys in.
It's not about honor when it's about winning a fight. And,
oh wow!
Spyro over here with fall distance hurt. He can just fall from a high distance and get hurt. Crash isn't doing that game. He can land and keep going. He keeps going from heights.
He just dies. Justin, Cicero's got you on this one. You had to bring in the boys.
Yeah.
Cicero brought in the 3D plane. He's okay, because Cicero's got you. So we got a tie, which that means, listeners, we go to our tiebreaker, which is we choose a game that we've talked about, and we guess the Metacritic score. Price is Right rules. If they both go over, then the closest to the number wins. But if only one goes over and the other one is under, then the one that is under wins, even if the ones that's over is closer. So, the Metacritic score for Halo Reach is... Write down your numbers. Or just think about them, and then I'll have you spill them out one at a time, because we ain't doing this like one person's going at one time, one person's gonna guess higher. For Halo Reach, Metacritic score for Halo Reach.
You know how many times Sister and I have gone to the lightning round? Like every single time we debate.
Yeah, you guys been going back and forth pretty good. All right. Got it written down or thought of?
Yes.
Okay. Justin, what is your number?
You're at 89.
Oh, come
89.
on. Oh, come on.
Did Cicero choose 89?
Yes. Oh, come on.
We can go 88 and hope that it's lower.
Oh no, I gotta choose a different number. Oh man.
Nope. We are going with a different game.
Oh really?
Yes.
We're going with a different game. I want to know what the number was.
Yeah, if it was 89,
I will tell you.
win.
It was not 89. It was 91.
That was what was my second number.
That was your second number?
Yeah, my second
Different
number.
game, sorry.
Yep, we are going to a different game.
Okay.
We are going to a different game. And we are going to go with... We're going to go with Spyro. Spyro the Dragon.
The original?
Yes. We're going with the original game. Actually, you know what? Because you know what, we're just gonna go with the trilogy. So the Reignited trilogy, the Metacritic score. What is the Metacritic score?
Did better than Crash, that's for sure.
Spyro Reignited trilogy, the Metacritic score. All right, we went Justin's way first, so we'll go Cicero's first. What was your number?
84.
84. Justin, what was your number?
86.
86. Cicero wins. Both of you were above it. It is 82, but Cicero is closer.
Oh, nice.
So there we go. Cicero is our big test your might
number. Yeah. I'm just gonna go 84. That's my lucky number.
Cicero is our winner of Test Your Might.
Man, we think too much alike, Justin.
Yeah.
All right. It is time for our leaderboard section. We are going with, now I know in our in our Mighties episode, we did talk about our most anticipated games overall, but we didn't make a list. So this time around, the top 5 anticipated games of this year. And gentlemen, I will allow games that have already been released. So like maybe one of your most anticipated was Dying Light 2 or whatever, you can still include that. But what are your most anticipated games of the year? Justin, we'll go your way first.
My anticipation has shifted. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga.
Okay, sounds good.
If you keep going.
Yeah, all three.
Hogwarts Legacy.
Okay.
And I would say my third one, but it's been Forspoken. So Elden Ring it is.
Oh my goodness. Cicero, now that you have a PS5, is Forspoken going to be one of yours?
Oh, for crying out loud.
For crying out loud.
So yeah, I'm currently looking at the list. I am thinking it is going to be Crossfire X.
Okay.
Which I should be playing real soon, actually.
Yeah, I think that campaign's going to be fun. It's Remedy. Like, Remedy makes good games, you know?
Yeah. Test Drive Unlimited.
Okay.
TDU Solar Crown. It is a curiosity for me. I just really want to know what that game is going like. Mm-hmm. What is it going to be? I don't know. It's going to be good. If it's going to be good. And the last is Starfield. If we actually get this game this year, I would be amazed, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what this is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. On my list is Gotham Knights.
Oh yeah, good one.
Definitely one of that I'm very, very much looking forward to. I'm a huge Arkham fan, so it's gonna be amazing. I'm going to. I'm gonna say. Justin took one of mine, Hogwarts Legacy. That's for sure. Definitely looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope.
Okay.
Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. And then my final one, and I might. I think I might cheat a little, guys.
Cheater.
It's a game. Yeah. I'm gonna cheat. It's a game that is already out, but the next gen version is coming out this year, and that's Cyberpunk.
Okay.
So, Cyberpunk 2077. I purchased it for like $9 at GameStop, and in anticipation for this next gen release. So, I'm pretty anticipated on that. So, Cicero has Crossfire X, Test Drive Unlimited, Solar Crown, and Starfield. I have Gotham Knights, Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope, and Cyberpunk 2077. Justin has Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, Hogwarts Legacy, and Elden Ring. Cicero, what's your must-have? Starfield, okay. Starfield was going to be on my list as well. So, Justin, what's your must-have?
Lego Star Wars, for sure. They're reworking the entire engine, and there's going to be third-person shooting in it and stuff. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, the trailer shows a lot now.
Did you hear that you could also turn on mumble mode again? Like, you could turn off the voices
the Switch,
and go back.
But they're doing all this work to make it voice acting. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, Gotham Knights. It's got to be on the list. It's gonna be amazing. I'm so pumped. All right, guys. So out of the list that we still have Crossfire X, Test Drive Unlimited, Mario Rabbids, Cyberpunk 2077, Hogwarts Legacy, and Elden Ring.
I could easily fight for Test Drive. Also, Hogwarts Legacy is great. That's another one I'll fight for.
I'm with those.
I've already played Cyberpunk, so I don't need that.
Mario Rabbids is dope. But
gotta play the first one first.
Yeah. Oh, Mario Rabbids. I love that game.
Yeah. Oh, that game's awesome.
Yeah. It's the one game that I play on my Switch.
I don't know, like, Cicero, like, for me, like, Test Drive, okay, it but you have a PS5, you're gonna have Gran Turismo 7 here, like, that's an option, but also, like, Forza Horizon 5 is out, it's like, that's kind of more of the type of game that I want to play, at least.
So, yes, but I am really trying, like, the Test Drive Unlimited game is Forza Horizon. It has the potential to be Forza Horizon without the gimmick of music, right? And oh, okay, yeah, we're not driving off road. We're not doing all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We've got cars, and we've got a place that you can drive cars around in a city or whatever. Yeah. And you can love your cars, and you can get out of them every now and then and do some stuff, but it's about the cars.
Yeah.
And no other goofy, gimmicks. Not to say that Forza Horizon is bad and music being in the game is a bad thing. It's just that, like, that's the gimmick. Like, it's the music festival and the car festival, blah, 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 right? And we can do all the things. If TDU stays focused, and it just gives you, like, a great experience with, like, 200 to 250 of some of the best, most desirable cars in the world, and they really give you that, that's going to be dope.
Like, yeah, I agree. I love car sim games, but I've always been more of a fan of the arcadey sense of it, where it was like Burnout or Need for Speed, and Test Drive wasn't as serious, but it still was focused, like Cicero said. Right. So I feel like it's all the good things, and you can occasionally turn right.
Yeah.
Man, I guess on your list, I'm more excited for Crossfire X.
Sure.
I mean, so can we let's look at Elden Ring. None of us are like Soulsborne players, right? So,
It's on my must play, so it's soon.
Okay. I mean, so I'm gonna nix Elden Ring, just because I think Cicero and I are down on the Soulsborne at least. Hogwarts Legacy, I'm down for.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hogwarts Legacy is going to be awesome.
Yeah, put that on the list.
Okay, Hogwarts Legacy is on there. So then I think it's between Mario Rabbids and Test Drive, I guess, from what I'm hearing. Cicero, are you? I mean, I guess you're passionate about Test Drive, but you're kind of like not overly anticipating it, but rather like just passively optimistic a little bit.
I am anxious about it.
Anxious,
right? So
Same.
Yeah, anticipatory anxiety.
Okay. So then
like
is your anticipation for Mario Rabbids a little more rooted? You think?
Yes.
Okay.
Because
so is Crossfire X.
Because like I think Mario Rabbids already has something. They've got a template that is recent, that is quality, and what you're hoping is that they're going to give you more of the same plus a little more. Mm-hmm. Whereas Test Drive has the potential to be something great, the potential to be something great potentially, and
potentially.
Right.
It's going to be huger.
Yeah. It's the hugest, but we don't know. Whereas I kind of feel like I do know with Mario Rabbids, which is cool. And I'm with it. But I'm just more hopeful for TDU. Which is kind of what my list is right here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I would either go Crossfire or Test Drive, for sure. And I don't really want another shooter, but Crossfire has been in the works for a long time. So I feel like they've really left it in the oven, so it's going to come out with something good. And we haven't had a good campaign in a shooter in a long time. Yes. So that's what
Halo
it's
Infinite, sorry.
I'm waiting. Sorry.
Play it.
I need that co-op first.
Don't even get me started. You started the campaign. You
I
just
did.
stopped.
I shut it off.
You're ridiculous. Play it.
That's not how I play Halo.
Yes, it is. I can guarantee you don't even. You literally stayed up all night playing a single player campaign at my house. Halo ODST. Shut it.
You were asleep. You were right next to me. That's co-op.
There you go.
No, it's not. You have no. Oh my goodness.
Was ODST co-op?
I don't think so.
Initially,
and then
they added it.
So then, can we say Crossfire X as a group? Because I'm down for Remedy's single player campaign there. Thoughts? Or
sure.
you more had in for Test Drive, you two?
No. We can do Crossfire X.
Yeah. It's been longer since we got a good shooter campaign.
No, it hasn't. It's literally been 2 months. All right.
Over here.
Anyway, Starfield, Lego Star Wars, Gotham Knights, Hogwarts Legacy, and Crossfire X. Gentlemen, this has been Test Your Might 61. please leave us a review. Thank you so much for listening. Remember that Spotify also has that 5-star review thing, and I say 5-star because I mean you're gonna give us 5 stars. I mean, let's be real. Okay. Anyway, this is Test Your Might 61. My name's Mike. That's Cicero. That's Justin, and we'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Peace.
What happened to Forspoken?
Justin, you've literally been a Minecraft character this whole video.
Am I really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, with the red.
No, you've been blurry this entire time. Yeah. Bit of 160p.
It's because Cicero is too close to my house, and his PS5 is eating all the internet in the area.
Yeah.
So it's like
That's what's happening.